Alright, so this is going to be a Battle Royale speedrun of the game Slipstream. So as you can see here, we're selecting our car. We are selecting the car with the top speed, which is the Lynx. It has the highest top speed in the game, so we will be choosing it here because it'll allow us to go the fastest versus the other cars. So this is an outrun style racing game that, so actually you should note what we're doing here is when we start, every other car has a faster acceleration than us, regardless of which car we choose. It's just the way the game works. All of the other cars go in front of you, so you're able to slipstream off them. What we were doing there is we were getting pushed by the other cars to increase our top speed right off the start, which is a lot faster than just letting our car accelerate up to its top speed. As you can see, we're passing cars quickly here. And the way the Battle Royale mode actually works in this game is very similar to other Battle Royale type games, where the way this game works is it uses 15 of the 20 tracks in the game, and it allows so each track there's one lap of each track, and after the one lap of each track, it eliminates the player who is in the last position. So as you can see up there, it shows cars remaining. So there's 15 left after we've been through one track, so we start with 16, and as we continue through, that number will go down and down and down. So essentially you just need to be passing one car each track, but we will do that no problem. Yeah, so the way this game works actually is there's drifting and slipstreaming, where if you are behind a car, it will allow you to gain speed off that car in front of you until you pass it. Excuse me. So, what we're doing here is we're drifting, and we're trying to stay behind the car and push it a little far forward so we can continue to stay behind it and therefore slipstream off of it. As you can see, we're pushing it around this corner, but there's really a balance you have to get between choosing a good line to not hit the wall, and then also keeping cars in your slipstream, because of course the faster you go around the corners, the more it will try and push you to the outside, and you will hit the wall. So we're finishing up the lap of Valley of the Kings here right now, and as you can see, between each track there's a long straightaway, and you do want, optimally, you would like to have a car in front of you for that, so that you can slipstream off of it and get even faster. But if it doesn't, it really does not save that much time. And as you can see up there, Norman, who was just eliminated, might remind you of a certain Bob Ross painter. This game has some pretty interesting cameos or Easter eggs of other characters like Bob Ross, and there's also Tofu Boy, or Takumi, from the drifting anime Initial D. Yeah, so of course, with it being a drifting game, that would make sense. So this game was actually made by 2 people, which is quite interesting. One person did the music for this game, and another person, Ansdor, actually did everything else, which is quite impressive. I really like this mode of the game because it shows off so many of the tracks, unlike other of the Grand Prix modes where it will only show off 5 of the tracks, which is quite nice for this, and it really allows for a nice diverse way of showing off the game, and it also shows off all of the characters. But there is some pretty kooky characters in this game. So as I said before, there are 5 different cars in this game, but everyone who runs the Grand Prix mode, sorry, not the Grand Prix mode, the Battle Royale mode, would use the Lynx here, which is modeled off an NSX, because it has the highest top speed. And as you can see, we're under a water level right now, which is pretty exciting. That is a little out of the ordinary. As you can see, Tofu Boy there was eliminated, unfortunately. But there are 11 cars left, and we're already in 5th place, so we, barring something catastrophic, we're not looking to have really any issue of losing. So as we're coming around these corners here, you can see that yeah, again here's a long straightaway. This game actually is very cool in its style. Well, of course, the music and the visuals really give a retro feel to the game, but it does control super well, and just the aesthetics of the backgrounds, and then all of the nice foreground hazards and walls and such. I think they all have a nice cohesive style, but really they would only fit into the track that they are part of, which I think is really cool. And I enjoy actually the reusing of so many of the elements. I think it really contributes to the nice retro style that the game has. Of course, with the graphics and the way it works. Here, actually, Mystic Cave is I think, well, it's probably my least favorite, and one of, for that reason, the most challenging tracks, because it has so many blind corners. You kind of just have to learn the layout of this track. As you can see there, I hit the wall, and I hit the wall again. No good. You hate to see it. But I hit the wall there twice, and because just once you're at top speeds, the corners really do come up quickly, and you have to kind of be perfect on your line, or else you're hitting the wall with a lot of speed, such as there. So as you can see, with those two different corners, they're the one where I flipped out, and then the other one where I just grazed the wall a bit. There's two levels of hitting the wall in this game. There's one level where you just nick the wall, and you lose less speed than you would otherwise. Well, there's the other part where you really slam the wall and your car cartwheels and flips out, and that's where you lose a lot of speed. And it just depends on at what angle and how fast you're hitting the wall. Well, as you can see, we're slipstreaming and we're pushing this car forward so we keep the slipstream for longer. We're now in 2nd on the 9th stage, so really things are going well. There's still 8 other cars left, but as the field is whittling down here, we're entering more of the part where it becomes technically on the player, where they have to execute corners and not hit the walls and keep their speed, because once you excuse me, once you have the first place position, of course, there's no way to get your speed up with slipstreaming, because there's no other cars in front of you. So you kind of just have to try and not hit the wall as well as you can, so you don't lose the speed that you've already gained. So as you can see, we are now in 1st, so we will not go too much higher than our top speed that we have here. We might get up to 270 if we play optimally. Yeah, so when you do hit the walls, you do lose some speed, but you do gain it up to a certain point. As you can see, this is a very Vaporwave inspired level. It's probably one of my favorites in the game, solely because of the absurdity that is this track. As you can see, there's a bunch of old Apple computers that form arches, and the nice geometric shaped backgrounds with the palm trees and the pink and all the pastel colors. It's very cool. Oh, and there's a bunch of Venus de Milos just hanging out, lining the sides of the track, because Vaporwave, I guess. But this game is super creative, and there's all the mouse pointers. It is a very, very cool track. Actually, another very cool track, and probably my favorite track, only because I just think it's cool. is Highgate Cemetery, and actually this first corner, well, these first two corners, you can link up into a single drift, and that is the case for a bunch of the tracks here, where they have long sweeping corners, or two corners that are connected by a short straight that you can fully drift around if you keep your drift. And the reason why you would want to do that is because the way to initiate a drift in this game is while you're pressing accelerate, you start to turn, and then you hit the brake button, and then the acceleration button again, and then that will start you into a drift. So therefore you lose a little speed when you hit the brake. So if you don't have to hit the brake and you can link your drift, you do not lose the minimal time and minimal speed. But I mean, it's a speedrun, so you gotta save all the time you can. It's just little time saves like that are pretty cool, and they're interesting tech in this game. But yeah, a lot of this game is just really knowing when to take corners and how to optimally slipstream past people. It's very cool. As you can see, we're in a nice resort island destination, which is very nice. You'll love it. You'll love to see. And there's nice little houses, and then we're entering the end of this. So at the end of this, there will only be 3 cars left, and we will be entering the end. Yeah, so really once you get to this point, it is just all about knowing the tracks and executing so that you don't hit any of the walls, or you go off the track and lose speed. So each character, I should note, has their own certain track that is their home track technically. Like there's a Viking man who has this track, and actually the lady who just got taken out is a vampire, and her home track is Highgate Cemetery. So it's pretty cool that they put all that in there, just for the assorted, builds the lore and the world of this game a little bit more, which is quite neat. As you can see, we're slowly building up speed after we hit the wall there, and we're on to the final stage. So as we move through here, this nice Villa Rica. It's very cool. I like this track a lot because this has long corners that you can, as you can see there, we linked that drift through there, and this is another corner you can link. I'm not sure if I do it here actually. Oh yeah, I linked that corner through there, so it just allows you to save little bits of time, and it looks cool. It's a swag strat, which is nice, and it's nice to have those every now and then in a game. Actually, you can link. Actually, I'm doing it here. You can link this full corner here, and then back into this one, and this will be the end. And that is the end of this run. That is a #1 victory royale for us. And yeah, thank you for watching.